Oh, we are back for session 7. What happened last time? There was the coal fallow heist at the coal fallow factory, which was pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, I was able to achieve what I wanted, which was to get the immolation dagger. And I'm really happy that I got that. But because I got it, I now have a third corruption, which is the hungering flame. That's the new corruption that is with me. Let's see what the hungering flame is about, real quick. Okay, so content warnings are burns and body horror. The ambitions, desires, and schemes of the other powers are nothing to the hungering flame. Even worshippers and supplicants are nothing but fuel to feed its flames. Flames burn within those who are marked by the hungering flame, causing their skin to blaze with heat. They are surrounded by the ever present smell of smoke and do not feel the effects of cold. As the flame consumes their soul, burns appear and disappear on the skin of those marked by the power, leading them to an eventual end where they too are consumed in fire. So this is where I'm at. I've been marked by it. So I'm just at corruption level 1. So nothing there. I don't get abilities until level 3 and 4. But that's totally okay. So yes, I have the immolation dagger. It's a long dagger with a charred blade that curls like a nest of twisting flames and glows faintly with heat. So that is the dagger. I have it now, but it also marked me. So I am in I'm in Upper Neraine now. I was able to get inside of Neraine. It's very interesting. So Upper Neraine features with wide sun-drenched causeways, manicured greenery, and towering palaces constructed of shimmering white limestone, the upper city of Neraine is home to the aristocrats, descended from those early administrators, engineers, and bankers who had been tasked with managing the construction of the city 200 years earlier. Alongside these aristocrats are legions of animated dolls staffing shops, guarding gates, and running errands, outnumbering the humans nearly 10 to 1, which I would be afraid of, but they're apparently fine with it. What if these dolls wanted to, you know, basically they're AI? Um, are they sentient? I guess in a way. What if they wanted to revolt? 10 to 1, they would certainly win. And so we have the lift gates, 3 massive lifts of wood, brass, and steel. And they bring goods and people in and out of Upper Neraine. We have the Lantern Way. At the heart of the upper city is a wide street where the best tea houses, wine shops, and theaters and casinos can be found. Okay. Then we have the Artificers Quarter. Industry is confined to the lower city, with the singular exception being the crafting and animation of dolls. The Artificers Quarter on the western edge of the upper city contains a series of workshops specializing in shaping of woods, brass, porcelain, leather, and fabric into dolls. Okay. You can purchase a doll of your own to act as a companion for 10 resources. When you purchase the doll, choose 2 skills for the doll to be skilled in. Your reputation becomes negative with any NPC from Lower Neraine. I mean, I get it. The dolls have displaced all of the people of Lower Neraine. And then we have Silk Street, a cluster of narrow back alleys clustered with cafes and the most exclusive ateliers. Okay, lots of backstabbery and sabotage. Okay. So before we get into the thick of it in Neraine, I'm going to verify some clues. So I did the coal fallow heist. There was the sabotage in the upper city. I traveled to the upper city to fulfill a contract. So I finished that. Infiltrated a workshop under the guise of a new employee. Kind of sabotaged their dolls. That was fun. And so now I'm in the upper city. I finished that one. But now I want to verify some clues because You can verify clues when you travel to a new settlement. So I do have a couple clues regarding my obsession, which is retrieving all the pieces of Melania Everfall's apparatus and reunite them to make contact to an eternal. So that's my obsession. And I have 3 clues so far confirmed. Once I get up to 7, I believe that's like the end of my journey. Um, so one is that a third piece was lost in a raid near Amandet. And then another clue is that the sun bleached prism is hidden in Amandet salt mines. And so I'm in Upper Neraine. There are plenty of records, travelers, I think, coming in and out from near that area. So I'm going to be I'm going to find a library and dig through old raid reports in the archives. Okay, so I'm going to roll the D12 because the challenge die for verifying rumors is always a D12. So let's roll that D12 and see what I got to beat. Lower the. Oh, I rolled a 12. Of course I did. But listen, I got fate points. Okay, so because I rolled a 12, I need a 10. It's the only way to succeed. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so I will probably could use let's see. I could use my knowledge. Okay, I'm using investigation for sure. And this one is for the third piece was lost in a raid near Amandet. Okay. I think my knowledge, stuff like academic knowledge and like scientific research, I think that's going to help. And I think investigation. So that's 4d10, and I need at least 1d10 to succeed. Okay, so I have 4d10. Let's do this. Oh my god, I rolled 6, 6, 7, 9. That's a fail. Would it be crazy to use 4 fate points to re-roll that? Leave me down to 7? Let's do it. Why not? I'm going to spend 4 fate points, and then that will bring me to 7 fate points. And I'm going to re-roll. If I don't get a 10, it's not meant to be. Re-roll. Oh, that is 4, 6, 6, 8. So what that means is the research hits a dead end. It's a false clue that I got. So the third piece comes up that it was false. It was not lost in a raid near Amandet. The other clue is that the sun-bleached prism is hidden in Amandet's salt mines. Okay, so the prism is in the salt mines. So this one is like, I'm going to go around, I'm asking caravans, maybe survivors who would have been near Amandet, or people from that area asking about salt mines. And so I am investigating again. I'm going to roll another d12 to see what the challenge die is. Okay, that's a 2. Pretty much using the same. I'm probably using a persuasion as well to get people to open up to me. So that is 4. Again, that's 4. Investigation gives me 2. Persuasion is another one. And then the base die. So I have 4d10. 3, 3, 4, 9. Okay, so that one is true. I'll take it. Now so turns out that the raid story turned out to be nothing, but I'm sitting at 4 out of 7 verified clues, so I am officially, over halfway to the end game. So now it's time for the local plot. So I will roll on the Upper Neraine plot table to see what trouble is brewing in this city. Okay, so we are in Upper Neraine. We have 2 plots that we can go with. I'm going to roll a d4, and then I will divide the result. So 1 or 2, it will be a plot called A Deadly Rival. And then a 3 or 4, there is one called Trembling Stone. So I'll roll a d4 just to see which one we get. That's a 3. So we have Trembling Stone. That is the second plot. So I could choose one, and then, but I mean, there's a Deadly Revel. Sounds actually, I don't know, that sounds a little bit more interesting because Trembling Stone, it's about earthquakes, blah blah blah. But there's a Deadly Revel that has to do with like the people of Upper Neraine, like this whole Dolorette family. Let's go with that. Let's go with that one. So we have a deadly revel. Concerns are spreading through the upper city as the Dolorette family, who own a series of factories in the lower city, have not been seen for weeks. The family's dolls have been seen escorting guests from both the upper and lower city into the manor, though no one has been seen leaving but the dolls. Gain entrance to the Dolorette estate to determine why the family has not been seen in weeks. So we have the Dolorette family. We have Hammond. He's the father, manager of several failed businesses in the lower city. We have Irma, mother, obsessed with local gossip and currently engaged in 2 separate extramarital affairs. Ooh. And then we have Agnes, Hammond's mother. She runs the family's profitable business with an iron fist. And we have Albert. He is the son of Hammond and Irma, spoiled, disobedient, and dangerously curious. Oh God, he's going to be annoying. So we have to determine why the family disappeared. And then so we will roll for the plot details. And that is a d6. That's a 5. Hallways stretch on eternally, winding and doubling back, opening to 1,000 rooms, too vast to fit into the shell of the Dolorette Manor. Hammond Dolorette purchased a rare puzzle box for his son Albert. When Albert succeeded in opening the box, it became a focus for the endless, twisting the interior of the manor. The Dolorette family and a myriad of others who have arrived at the house are lost within. Find the puzzle box and find a way to close it to end the influence of the endless. Okay, so now I'm going to roll on the location navigation table 3 times just to see what stands in the way to guide you. So each time you roll on the table, use the prompt to imagine the obstacle. Oh, okay. So I was rereading the rules. I may have been doing this incorrectly. I have been doing the navigating a location table and then finishing out the plot, but you don't need to roll on the navigating a location table just to make my way to the plot location. Those rules are for moving through a dangerous area, which could be a specific step in my plan to resolve the plot. So basically, the 3-step plot resolution, that's what you have to do. You have to make like 3 steps to resolve the plot. That's the main structure. And then the navigating a location table is a tool to generate the challenges for one of those steps if it involves exploring a dangerous area. Well, it's good to learn that. Better late than never. But I was still having a good time doing it the other way around too. So they both work, it seems. Both methods work. But let's try out this new one. Well, so I'm going to plan out, I'm going to do the 3-step plot first and see how that goes. And then if need be, the navigating a location table can be used if it makes sense. Okay. So step 1, there's a 3-step plan. We need to breach the manor, then navigate the labyrinth, and then we need to close the box because there's a lot going on. So I now stand before the Dolorette Manor. I could see the windows flicker with lights and the dolls standing guard at the gate, and they're like twitching erratically. So how can I get in? I could, just break open the front gate, try my best. I could sneak over garden walls. Maybe I could talk my way past the confused constructs. So I dealt with the endless before. It seems to be the corrupting power in this region, which is all about misdirection and being trapped. It's twisting halls and things like that. So that's what's going on in the Dolorette Manor or estate. So Uh, got to figure that out. Okay, also there was a step that I've been skipping. There's I think I've literally been skipping this is like my I think settlement number 4. I've been skipping step 1, which is investigating the rumor. What I've been doing is just rolling on the table and then rolling for the plot details. I'm supposed to investigate the plot, the first plot. And then so that, gives me more context. So I find more information that leads to the heart of the problem. But stuff like that hasn't been really affecting the game for me. It hasn't made the game work differently or made the experience less fun. Um, so I guess at that point, I'm not sure if I need to investigate the rumor per se, because I'm not sure how it helps to resolve the plot in the end. I think it's just flavoring, to be honest. So we have the knowledge of what's going on. So now time to resolve it. Breach the manor. Let's let's try to sneak over the garden walls. So I only have one. Maybe survival. Maybe survival could work. Survival's about navigating, searching for hidden things, and surviving in the wilderness. I think those are the only two. I should probably put a skill point in deft because that could have helped, but I won't do it yet. So I have 3d10 that I have now, so I'll roll the challenge die. Okay, challenge die is a 5. Okay, so I have 3d10, so I just need to get higher than a 5. I'm trying to sneak. Okay, nice. So I make my way inside. The estate is under lock and key, again guarded, and I now that I'm in, I need to find the threshold where reality gives way to the endless corruption, and then make my way in, and then so I have found my way inside this distortion. I now have to track down Albert and the box through these shifting hallways. And so this is where we'll use the navigating a location table 3 times. Okay, so let me roll a d10. Let's see what the complications are. Okay, so that's a 9. So a single powerful enemy. Ooh. Okay, look like combat is going to be happening. So that's 1. And that I rolled a 3, so that is an area that must be navigated around or through. I mean, yeah, that's what the endless is all about. Creating confusing mazes and things like that. So let's see what the third one is. I think that's another 3. I'll re-roll again just to change it up. 6. An NPC, item, or event that distracts you from your goal or turns you from your course. I hope it's not the annoying kid. So I slip through like a side window, as I said. The door vanishes behind me. I'm in the endless now. So there is some type of guardian standing in like a distorted foyer. It is a monstrosity. It's like this hulking golem made of fused porcelain doll parts. Dozens of cracking faces are staring at me from its torso, and it wields like a jagged candelabra, like a maul, and it blocks the only path forward. So I need to fight or maneuver around it. So let's see. So I don't have to enter into combat. If I fail the roll to try to get around it, then yes, probably. But okay, so as I said, I'm just trying to get around this thing, and I wish I had deft now. Okay, I definitely will put one in deft, a skill point in deft later. Um, I don't have any in deft, so that would just be one. Oh my gosh, it would be 1d10. The challenge die here is a d10 plus 1. Oh, d10 plus 1, let's go. Okay, challenge die is a 5. I only have 1d10, so I need to roll 5 or higher. Oh no, of course I rolled a 2. No. I try to go around it. It dodges me so easily. I could use a fate point. Okay, how about 1 fate point? I'm going to re-roll. If I fail, then it wasn't meant to be, and then I will have to enter into combat. So fate point goes down to 6. I'm going to re-roll. Oh my god, I rolled a 4. Welp. Combat it is. So these things, it has 6 fortitude. So basically it has 6 health. I need to get it down. But it does have an action table. So if I fail a roll, I have to roll a d6 to determine what action the animated doll takes. Or I could choose an action from the table. So it has an ability called Breakable. So when I roll a crit on an attack, I deal double damage. Okay. So I failed to dodge around it. Okay, so my move is I'm going to look for an opening. So I'm going to roll with investigation. On a success, I gain advantage on my next roll. So I have 3 dice. Okay, challenge die is a d10 plus 1. Let's go. Oh no, I rolled an 11. Oh! Challenge rolls an 11. Jesus, I have 3d10. That's all I have. I need a 10. Let's go. Wow. I did roll 3 5s. Does that mean something? I will use 1 fate point to re-roll one of them and hope it's a 10. That's all. Nope, that is a 2. So I failed, and because I failed, gotta roll in the d6 table to see what it does to me. Let's go. I rolled a 4, so it disarms. It twists its blade. So I rolled a 4, so it swings its weapon in a wide arc. It pushes me back, and it readies a hidden weapon it had. On my next roll, if I succeed, I take 1 damage. If I fail, I suffer 2 damage. Okay, so once again, I'm looking for another opening. So challenge die is a 4. I'm using investigate, so that's 3d10. Okay, 5, 9, and 9. So success. I do succeed on the roll. So I do take 1 damage. So my fortitude goes down to 6. Okay. So I have advantage on my next roll, even though I did take 1 damage. I'm going to roll with strike. I have my quarterstaff. Even though I do have the dagger. I wonder if the dagger could help. Okay, so let's use the dagger. I could spend 1 corruption die to deal an additional damage. Okay, so I have 1 base d10, another one because of strike. I'm going to spend stamina and go down to 4 stamina so that I get another d10. So that's 3 as I'm trying to succeed. So let me roll the d10 plus 1. And this is the challenge roll. Okay, so that's a 5. I have 3 d10 that I can use. Okay, 5, 9, and 10. Oh, that's 3 successes, I believe. And because I rolled a 10, I get back up to 6 fate points. Okay, so that is 4 damage to the creature. So it has 2 HP left. Oh, actually, I had advantage, so I can roll 1 more. Let's just see what that was. 9. Okay, so that actually does another damage. So it's down to 1. So I have that dagger and stab into it, right into its center mass. And I'm going to strike again. And hopefully that works. But this is the challenge die for this next roll. Oof. Okay, challenge is a 10. So I do need a 10 or higher to be successful here. It's on its last legs, but I have strike. I just have 2d10 that I can roll. That's it. Oh, that's a fail. So I'm going to roll a d6 to see what it does to me. So I rolled a 3. So again, it swings its weapon, wide arc, pushes me back again. If I succeed on my next roll, I take 1 damage. If I fail on my next roll, I take 2 damage. As I go back in to strike once again, the challenge die I'm going up against is an 11. Again, I only have 2d10. Let's go. That's a 7 and a 9. I fail and I take 2 more hits to my health. I'm down to 4 fortitude. I'm going to strike again, but let's see what I'm going up against for the challenge roll. That's a 2. Okay, 2d10. That's all I got. 5 and 8. Success. Wow. Okay, and this thing is finally taken down. It's dead. I'm feeling hurt. It has hit me a few times, but we're going to continue on. So we're going to move to the second obstacle, which is the shifting hallway. Defeated the guard, but the hallway ahead still refuses to stay still. And I see the floor tiles, they're rippling like water, and the doors on either side slide up and down the halls. So to move forward, I have to predict the pattern of the shift. I can use survival, I can use my knowledge. The challenge die is a d10, so let's just roll that challenge die just to see what I do need to go up against. A 9. So my knowledge, academic research, I am academically minded, so that's going to help. This is definitely some occult stuff going on, I think. Yeah, that's like arcane knowledge, stuff like that. You know what? I haven't used Fate's fortune charm yet. I have a couple. I haven't used like hedge magic yet. I can craft a charm that draws on the powers of the Crone of Fate. When you make a roll, you can call in the magic to bend fate and turn a 1d10 into a crit. Once you use this effect, it's expended, but it costs 2 resources and 1 stamina. I think that's why I haven't used it. I could use 2 resources, 1 stamina. I'm already at 4 stamina. Okay, I won't use it just yet. I might use locate object though, because I am looking for a box, basically. So I will use survival is going to help here, occult knowledge, and then I'm an awakened scholar, so that ability gives me 2 more d10. So I have 4. Okay, so what did I roll? I rolled a 9, so I need a 9 or higher. I have 4 d10. Wow, that's a 1, 3, 3, 7. So you know what? I'll use 2 fate points to re-roll 2 of them. So my fate goes down to 4. Come on, 9 or higher. Let's go. Oh my gosh, that's a 2 and a 7. So that is a failure. Okay, so that's not working. I think because that's not working, can't use the same skills as before. So I am going to have to use Fate's fortune charm. I didn't want to, but I failed. So it costs 2 resources. So resources will go down to 13, and then stamina goes down to 3. As I'm standing there crafting this charm and drawing on the powers of fate. I'm going to make another roll, and I can turn that 1d10 into a crit. And so that is what I will do. Okay, this one is tough. Okay. So crafting that. Okay, so I'm going to use that effect. The magic in the charm is expended. I can only have one of these charms at a time, so I can't keep making a whole bunch. So it's expended. I got a crit. So crit equals fate points. So I got back up to 5. But yeah. So able to use that. I find a room that seems untouched by the chaos. It looks like a nursery area. There is a small delicate doll sitting at a table set for tea. And this is the distraction because I did roll for a distraction. It talks to me. It's holding up a silver key. It says, it tells me it's been waiting so long for a guest as I enter in. I could ignore it. I could engage with it. How about I engage with it? I'm going to sit down for the key. I'm going to make a persuasion or deception probably to extract the key without losing myself to the time dilation. It's clearly trying to just distract me to waste time, as it does. Okay, so I'm going to use deception as I talk to it, trying to distract it as it tries to distract me. Let me roll a d10 to see what the challenge die is. That's a 3. Okay, I have 2d10. 3 or higher. Let's go. Okay, that's a 2 and an 8. Success. So the next thing is I do still need to find the box, though. So I have the key. I need to overpower the box's influence, right? Or solve its mechanism, maybe. So made it. I'm definitely bruised and probably bleeding. So kick open the final door. I'm looking at this room. It has no ceiling. It's just like this swirling, silent void. In the center, I can see the young son, Albert Dolorette. He's sitting there frozen, and you see his hands are stuck inside the opening of this puzzle box, and it looks like shadows or smoke is pouring out of it, like thick smoke. It seems to be like holding them to the floor. I have the silver key in my hand shaking a little bit as I'm severely bruised and hurt. So I'm going to cross the room, insert the key, and try to force the lock shut against the pressure of the endless. So I'm walking over. The difficulty is going to be a D10. And I rolled an 8. So that is the challenge die. I don't have deft. I definitely need to get deft now. I'm going to get that skill at the end of this. Okay, so I'm going to use this just physical strength and probably some occult knowledge. And that is 3d10. And then I could use my scientific research knowledge to do this correctly, to look for the right ways to shut it and all that. So that is 4d10. Hopefully I can roll an 8 or above on any of them. Oh, wow. Okay, 2, 3, 5, and 8. That's 1 success. That's all I needed. Wow. Okay. So I resolve the plot and I gain a reward from the local community. So I will roll 1d6 to see how much. Okay, that's 3. So I go up to 16. But I would like to barter. This family is loaded. And just help them all out. They were just in a never-ending maze. I'm going to say it's more hush money to keep the Manor's distortion a secret from the other elites. I'm sure it's embarrassing and they wouldn't want this to get out. So I'm going to make a persuasion skill roll. Let's make it a d10. Okay, that's a 9. So for every success, I get +1 resource. So I'm going to use persuasion. That's only 2. That's only a 2d10. Okay, so I can roll 2d10 and hopefully nothing. I rolled a 4 and a 7. This guy's like, thanks for helping us, but get out of here. Okay. And then I also do learn one more clue. Okay, so we'll say that Hammond, the father, Dolorette, he says he purchased the He purchased this box from a traveling merchant who claimed it was salvaged from the Amandet region. This box. So he's going to share a piece of information that he learned from the merchant's ledger, that the sun bleached prism is being used by a sect called the Enkindlers to focus light for a perpetual ritual deep within the Amandet salt mines. Okay. Oh, I just realized when working for the rich aristocracy and business owners of the upper city, it has its benefits. When you roll for payment, oh, it's payment on a quest. Roll 2d6 instead of 1d. 1d6. Nice. I am going to do quests. So before I do some quests, what I'm going to do first is look for a sixth clue because I forgot to do that. And there's two ways to get clues, which is to just do investigation, and then you get a clue after you finish a plot. But I forgot to do it before the plot, so we're going to do it now. I'm going to Lantern Way. That's the heart of the upper city. It has the best tea houses, wine shops, theaters, casinos. So as I'm in there, you know, there are orange and white paper lanterns that are strung between the buildings. Bands of doll musicians are set up in the middle of the street. So most business dealings here are done over wine or tea in one of the shops of the Lantern Way. So that's where I'm going to a tea house, and I'm going to rub elbows with the bureaucracy of Upper Neraine and see what I can find out. So I just want to double check. I think it's a D10 I can roll. So yes, I'm going to roll a D10 and then see what the challenge die is going to be. Oh my god, of course I roll a 10. I mean, it does say if you fail at your initial attempts, you can continue to try other approaches and avenues of investigation until you successfully locate a clue. Okay, so not all hope is gone. I get more than one chance, but that was a 10. And I'm using investigation, of course. A little bit of persuasion as I'm talking to people, getting them to open up. And so that would be 4d10. And so I have 4 chances to get. I haven't been rolling 10s, man. I rolled 1 or 2, maybe. Oh, that is 1, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so challenge die was a 10. I rolled a 1, 7, 8, and 9. So I did not succeed. I also rolled a 1, which is a complication. So I think people they're wary of me. Maybe a couple of people have an eye on me. I don't exactly support them here. I don't like the idea of, displacing so many people just with the doll. So, I do have luring glamour. I could use that. It costs 2 resources. Let's see. So the complication is that while I have no plot active and there's no corrupting power involved, but something is making my task more difficult because there is some wealthy merchants who were at a nearby table who stopped our conversation to stare at me in the tea house. So the head waiter asked me to settle my tab and move along. So I left. So yeah. So now I have a +1 for the remainder of the day. So when I'm rolling challenges now, I have a +1. So I'm going to shift my efforts. Going to one of the district's high stakes casinos. Air is thick here, expensive spice tobacco, clicking of the porcelain doll croupiers, and I'm looking to butter up the staff, maybe impress some of the high rollers to see if their guards are down. So it's going to be D10 +1. That's the complication, and so yeah, let's see how this goes. Lower the better. Okay. Challenge die was a 6. I can take it. I am, of course, I'm using persuasion and deception. Deception, I'm trying to, play the part of a high roller myself and blend in, but I'm also using investigation. So that is another 4d10. Oh, I can't use the same skill for this new attempt. Oof. Dang, I used all of them. I'll just try to, impress them with my academic knowledge, and that's just 2d10. I could use luring glamour. It costs 2 resources though. but I'm not rolling. It's each time you make a roll with persuasion or deception, and I'm not rolling with them because I already used them. So I can't roll again. Okay, it's just 2d10. Let's do this. Okay, I rolled a 5 and a 6. Yes, that's all I needed. So I will say that I win a significant hand at this casino. The noble across from me is a little bit frustrated, loose on the wine, begins bragging about his family's old investments in the Amandet region. And then he lets slip that the mines have a secret ventilation shaft in the cliffs above the city. It leads directly into the lower ritual chambers. That's what he says. So that's the clue. A secret ventilation shaft in the cliffs above Amandet provides a back entrance to the ritual chamber. I now have 4 verified clues and 2 unverified, which I will verify when I go to Amandet, which is the next location. Okay, so now let's roll for the quest. I'm going to roll 2d8. So 1d8, 4. So this is Milo Lantern Light of the Silver Flame has a corpse in the back room of his shop. He needs the corpse to be relocated to one of the private salons of an upper city tea shop called the Jade Cup. Investigating the identity of the body reveals it to be Marseille Silverhill, him, a trader of questionable goods who is widely known to provide many Upper Neraine salons with intoxicants. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to roll another d8. Let's see what the other quest will be. That's a 5. A wealthy aristocrat and importer of ceramics and bronzeware named Pallas Fairwind, she, her, has hired you to break into the offices of her business rival, Marina Murdoch, who has recently funded the opening of a new ceramics factory utilizing local clay that was once thought unsuitable for ceramics. Pallas wants you to steal Marina's business ledgers and any notes about her ceramics processing and return them to her. Okay, so I need to relocate a corpse, and then I need to infiltrate Marina Murdoch's HQ to steal ledgers for Pallas Fairwind. Okay, so this is quest 1. So there are 3 steps. Step 1 is the extraction. We need to secure the body somehow in a crate or cart and smuggle it through the crowded, lantern-lit streets of Lantern Way without alerting the street watch. Okay, so what can we use? I think strong and sneak are the big ones. So I will roll the d10. So let's roll the d10. Let's see what the challenge roll is. 2. Nice. And I'm using strong and sneak, using my strength and just trying to be sneaky. Survival could possibly work. Survival is about navigating, searching for hidden things. Strong is, lifting and carrying heavy objects. Definitely doing that. This is a big man. And sneak, moving unseen. So strong and sneak for sure. So that's 3d6. D10. So let's do it. Oh, 7, 9, and 10. Nice. Okay, I get a fate point. So fate points are now at 6. Okay, so I'm able to secure the body in a crate, and I'm smuggling it through the crowded streets. Next is the breach. I arrive at the Jade Cup, and I'm going to try to infiltrate it through like a service entrance, trying to bypass like the doll security, of course, clockwork security dolls that are patrolling the halls. So once again, I gotta get deft. Oh my god, deft has come up so much and I don't have it. Sneak for sure. But let's roll the challenge die. Let's see. 9. Okay. I might only have 2. I could spend stamina to get 3d10, but I'm already at 3 stamina. Let's just roll the 2d10. Hopefully I get a 9 or higher on one of them. I got some fate points I could reroll. Oh, that's a 4 and a 7. I'm going to use 2 fate points and reroll. So fate goes down to 4. Reroll, come on. Oh, that's a 2 and an 8. Oh, that's a miss. Um, okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to fight the doll. Okay, and it's not just any doll; it is a soldier. So I will have to roll. I'll have to roll a d6 if I miss, and it will hit me. So it has 6 fortitude. So what I'm going to do is I have my immolation dagger. It notices me as I miss on the step 2 roll. I have my dagger, and I'm going to look for an opening. It is a d8 plus a 1. That's their challenge. So I'll roll that. Okay, nice. Challenge is a 2. So I pull out my dagger. I'm going to use strike and strong because I'm using force. Well, actually, I'm looking for it's investigation. So that's 3d10 because I'm looking for an opening. 4, 5, and 7. That's a success. So I'm going to roll a d8 again as that is the end of round 1. Round 2 is I have advantage now. Oof. That's a 9 for round 2, the challenge die. So I have the dagger. I'm using strike. I'm using strong for strength. And then I have advantage. So I have 4d10. 4 chances to get a 9 or higher. Come on. Oh, 3, 5, 6, 8. Man, that is unfortunate. Oh, that's a miss. So I'm going to roll a d6 to see what happens. I might take damage. Oh my God, I only have 4. That's a 3. The doll swings its weapon wide arc. It pushes me back. It pulls out a hidden weapon, probably like a baton. And on my next roll, if I succeed, I take 1 damage. If I fail, I suffer 2 damage. Oh my God. I'm at 4 fortitude. Okay, so round 3. This is a d8 plus 1 to see what the challenge is going to be. Oh my God, it's a 2. Now I roll a 2. I'm using strike, strong, and the base. So I get 3d10. That's 4, 7, and 10. Nice. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. So 10 would usually give me a fate point, but I'm going to use that fate point to actually add extra damage. So that is 4 successes, and it now has 2 HP. The doll does. But because it was a success and I missed the last roll, my fortitude goes down. It hits me. Like it gets 1 whack in while I plunge the dagger into it. I'm going to strike again. Here's the challenge roll. That's a 5. So once again, strike, strong, and the base die, 3d10. And I just got to get a 5 or higher. Okay, that's 1, 7, and 8. There's a complication. Oh my God. What's the complication? 1, 7, and 8. So I do 2 more damage. It's dead. But I think I'm heard. I think this is really loud. Okay. I'm going to say there is +1 as people have heard the noise of the fight. There's now a +1 challenge rolls in this area for me. So I know that I need to hurry up and get out of here. So I've taken care of it, hid it in a closet, and now need to stage the scene. I need to plant the body in this private salon and arrange evidence, in quotation marks, to make the death look like a business deal gone wrong. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my academic knowledge to try to make this look like it's real. I'm going to use artifice as well as I found a private room and I'm going in there and I'm pulling things off of the walls. There's certain like knickknacks in here and I'm, constructing something that makes it look like this person was killed and because of a deal gone wrong or something. So I'm making evidence. So that's why I'm using artifice as well. And because I'm using artifice, I'm going to use my awakened scholar ability. So that gives me 2 more d10. So, I think possibly sneak could come into play here. Maybe not. I got to get deft. Oh my god. Okay, so that is 4d10. So let me roll the challenge die, which is a d10 plus 1 because of the last. Okay, it's an 8. I got 4d10. I just need an 8 or higher. 5, 7, 8, 10. Yes. Okay, so that gives me 1 fate point back. I got 5 fate point now, and that was a success. And I book it out of there. Okay, so that quest is over. So that quest, it gives me 1 skill point, so I'm now at 5. It pays 2d6 resources instead of 1. Hold on. Okay, so I get 6 resources because of that. So go up to 22. And then I can barter for more resources using persuasion against the NPC's challenge die, which is, let's see, that guy, the quest giver was, let's see, I think his name was Milo Lantern Light, and his challenge die is a D12. He's charming, he's conniving, and he I mean, he could smell a lie a mile away. He is the heart of the parties here. So let's see, Milo's parties are the thing of legend, and the rich aristocrats who attend are always looking for something new and outlandish to excite them. Milo would like to bring you to one of his parties as a diversion for his aristocratic attendees. Heart of the party. Interesting. I bet you would. That's an interesting one. I wonder if I should do it because it looks like it's not an official quest, but I am doing this work for him now. He might see my work and ask me. So, but first, he's a D12. Okay, this is going to be hard to persuade him. Well, let's see. So I'll roll a D12. This is his challenge die. Okay, I rolled a 6. I'm using persuasion, and so that would be 2d10. Just got to get 6 or higher. Okay, I got a 6 and a 7. That is 2 more resources. He was gracious enough to throw a couple more coin my way. So now I'm at 24. Okay, so quest number 2, I now need to infiltrate Marina Murdoch's headquarters to steal secret clay processing notes and business ledgers for Palace of Fairwind. So step 1, we got to case the office. So I am surveying Murdoch's business office. I'm identifying any guard rotations and mechanical security traps, protecting the records room. If I pass this, I'm going to say this gives me advantage for the next roll. Of course, the book says don't be afraid to give yourself advantage. I don't want to feel like I'm cheating really, so I haven't been really doing that. But if I fail a roll and it makes the next roll worse, if I pass a roll, it should be able to help the next roll. So it works both ways. So now I'm surveying. So let's see. That will be a D10. This is the challenge die is a 6. Okay. Okay, so I'm just casing it out. So investigation, of course. And I believe investigation might be the only one. But I'm going to use like my academic knowledge as well, as I'm just using my smart brain to recognize patterns and things like that. So that is 4d10. 6 or higher. Yes, 6, 7, 8, and 10. So I get 1 fate point because of that. So fate point goes up to 6. Okay, so I'm expertly finding out their rhythm. So next is the actual heist. So I figured out the rotations. I'm now trying to pick the locks to enter the private office. There is a back area, and I found the right opening. When there's like a at a certain time, the security dolls are walking, and there is a back entrance that is left open for a sliver of time, but I have to be quick. So I wish I had deft. Oh my god. What I'm going to do is sneak, of course. That might be the only one, but I have advantage. As I go to pick the locks, do I have any like lock picking stuff? I have tuning forks. I don't think that's going to help, but okay. So I have sneak, advantage, and the base die. So that is 3, but let's see what the challenge is for this roll. Okay. Challenge is a 3. I'm going to roll 3d10. Just need a 3 or higher. Wow, 227. Nice. Okay, so I make my way inside. Hopefully, I can make this a clean getaway. I locate, like, there is a hidden latch under her desk. I find the desk. It contains all the ledgers and documents. Now, I need to escape the building with the documents before the next shift arrives. I can't leave it. I don't want to leave any tracks or signs of forced entry, anything like that. So let's see what the challenge die is going to be. Okay, 3. I think sneak is going to be the only one, and just the base die. So that will be 2d10. 2 and 5. It was almost an 8. Like, it was almost 8. Okay. But okay, success. Nice. Okay. So that is another skill point. I'm now at 6 skill points. I'm gonna roll the 2d6 for the resources, and oh, that's only 4. Resources go to 28. But let's try to barter with Palace Fairwind. I did this pretty expertly. Okay. I'm gonna use persuasion. I'm going to say advantage because every step was a success. Like, I did this so expertly. I'm talking to her and I'm like, hey, no one could have done this as well as I did. Okay. So this is Palace, I believe that's her name. Fairwind. She doesn't have a stat block. Like Milo did, so I'll just roll a d10. This will be the challenge. Of course it's a 10. Of course it's a 10. I'm going to roll 3d10 and hope nothing. She laughs in my face and tells me to get lost. I lift up my hands. I walk away. Thanks for your business. Okay, so resources are now at 28. Okay, all done. But I'm thinking I usually only do 2 quests and then I keep it moving. But it looks like Milo might have a party going on. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do this Heart of the Party quasi quest. It's not technically one, but I think this could be fun. I want to take it end the night with this. I'm pretty bruised and beat up, but I'm going to put on some makeup. I'm going to cover up my bruises and see what happens. I think he's going to ask for one more favor, as I did the last one for him successfully. It's more of like a special event or maybe like a high stakes skill challenge than a standard quest. Um, so he's essentially having me perform for the elites. It's good way to end the night. High risk, high reward. Very on brand for Upper Neraine, it seems. So I'm walking into a room with people who have more money than sense, and I am the main attraction. Despite the bruises headed under that makeup, I gotta be the life of the party. Okay. I think this is where maybe luring glamour can come in. So let's read what this special event is all about. So Milo would like to bring you to one of his parties as a diversion for his aristocratic attendees. To succeed, you must succeed on 3 skill rolls with a D12 challenge die before accumulating 3 failures. Okay, so it is a skill challenge. Imagine what you're doing to entertain the guests and choose a corresponding skill for your roll. You can roll with any skill, but can only roll with each skill once. For example, if you are engaging in a witty conversation, roll with persuasion. If you are performing feats of acrobats, roll with deft. If you are performing a display of magic, roll with occult. Okay, so what we're going to do is luring glamour. This is what I'm going to do before the party. Okay, it's so let's move that here. Okay, it costs 2 resources, so I'll go down to 26 resources. Okay, so It's a ritual. You perform a ritual that lays a glamour on you, that draws those nearby to you, making them more disposed to trusting your words. For the rest of the day, each time you roll with persuasion or deception, you may choose to re-roll 1d10 and take the new result. Additionally, for the rest of the day, you have disadvantage on rolls with sneak. Yep, I can't sneak because, people are watching me. They're like attracted to me now, so I can't get out of it. So I'm using some witty repartee, my first skill. The alluring glamour takes hold, and like a subtle, enchanting light seems to cling on to me. My words carry a weight that they didn't have before. And I step into a circle of aristocrats, like glass of fine wine in my hand, and my bruises are hidden, but my wit is sharp. And I start spinning tales of my travels, and I'm peppering them with just enough charm to make the high society crowd lean in. And I can see Milo off to the side. He winks at me as he sees that I'm doing a good job. So I'm using persuasion. I have the base die. And then Milo is one of my NPCs. And so I'm going to get another, because my reputation is positive with him, I get another D10. And, but let's roll the challenge die first. The lower, the better. Okay. Okay, so challenge die is a 9, and I'm going to roll. I have 3d10. Okay, 9 or higher. Let's go. Here we go. That is unfortunate. 1, 2, and 5. That is one failure already. And I needed a 9 or higher. I could use. I'll use 1 fate point. I won't use 2. I was going to use 2, but I'll use 1. But luring glamour. I can use it once to re-roll. Reroll 1d10 and take the new result. But I'm also going to use a fate point, so I'm going to reroll 2d10. Come on. Oh my gosh, it was so close. That's a miss. I got to get 3 successes. I already used persuasion. All the witty remarks, they land with a thud. I don't know. It's the fatigue, it's the makeup hiding a wince, but they just offer like a polite, empty smile before turning their backs on me. Ooh, embarrassing. Milo, I see him off to the side. He like adjusts his collar nervously from across the room. I still have the glamour, but I'll need more than just words. Okay, so next, I'm going to exaggerate a past story of mine. So one of my actual adventures, the Dolorette Manor. I won't say the name of the manor, but I'm going to blow it out of proportion. I'm going to claim I fought dozens of dolls at once, and that I was sent by a secret high-ranking official to cleanse the house. And that I'm not just a traveler, I'm a noble from a distant fallen house traveling incognito. I know aristocrats love a secret prince type story, so I'm going to use that. Again, I have the help of Milo, still in a positive light with him. I'm using deception this time, help from Milo, and I have the base die, so that's 3d10. Again, I'm rolling a d12. Oh my god. Okay, challenge die is a 6. Okay, 3d10. Just need a 6 or higher. Come on, please. Oh, thank God. Oh my god. Okay, so that's 1 success and 1 failure. Okay, so I need 2 more successes. I've already used persuasion and deception, so those are off the table. Let's use a cult. Make some type of alchemical spectacle. I've already used the ritual today. I'm going to lean into magical nature a little bit more. Pull a few vials from my belt. I combine them to create a dazzling but harmless display of something that he'll call liquid moonlight. It floats above the guest's head, and perhaps I'll read the aura, but like it's all fake. It's all BS. Like I'll read the aura of the high society woman using shimmering powder. So that's how I'm going to do it. Let's roll the challenge die. Okay. Challenge die is a 9. So I have, again, help from Milo, the base die. I have occult gives me 1, and then awakened scholar gives me 2 more. So I have 5 d10. I need to roll a 9 or higher on any of them, please. Oh my god, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. Yes. Next, I'm gonna use Artifice. Okay, this is kind of like a meta reason, but I'm gonna use it. Okay, whatever I can use to help help me out here. Um, so that was a success. My fate points go up to 6 since I rolled a 10. So that is the second success. I need one more. I'm going to use Artifice. Uh, I'm going to, one of the mechanical doll servants in the room begins to like sputter or move erratically. And so while, there's a small panic, I'm going to step forward, cool confidence, use my tools. I'm going to perform a quick fix, showing off my deep understanding of the city's complex doll machinery here. So that is my Artifice versus a D12. I'm going to roll that D12. Oh, that's another 9. Ah. Okay, here we go. So basically, it's going to be 5d10 again, because Artifice and Occult give me a +2 because of an ability that I have. So let's see, is there anything else? I can use 1 stamina to reduce the challenge die by 3. Could have done that. Oh, my stamina is already low. I could lower it to 6. I have 5d10 and it's a 9. I need a 9 or higher on one of them. Let's just see. I'm just going to roll the 5d10 and see what I get. Yes. That is 1, 2, 6, 8, and 10, but there's a complication. So there is a complication. So I did get my 3 successes, 1 failure. Okay, so I get 1 skill point for that. So that brings me to 7 skill points. And then Milo is going to pay me for helping out with this party. Nice, 11. So I'm at 37 resources now. So it is time for the end of the day routine. So roll for corruption. If you've encountered any corrupting powers, then regain spent corruption dice. Okay, I did use a corruption dice for the Hungering Flame. I do need to roll for corruption because I did interact with at least one. So I did encounter the effects of the Endless today. So I'm gonna make that corruption roll to see if the mark on my soul deepens. I don't have the Endless, but I might be marked by it. So this is my first interaction. So wait, do I get it if this is my first interaction? Oh, okay. So when you encounter any of the powers for the first time, they mark you. So I mark 1 level of corruption next to that power. Oh, I've been marked by the Endless. Okay. So I've been marked by the Endless, so that's a 1. I have 3 stamina. So the challenge die is 1d6 plus the current corruption, so that's just 1. Okay, so let's roll the d6 plus 1. That would be what I need to beat. Oh wow, a 2. Nice. Okay. So I have 4 corruption dice that I can roll, or 4 d10s. Okay, 3, 6, 7, and 9. It's all good. Nothing changes. Okay, so next, spend 1 resource for living expenses or suffer exhaustion. That is fine. I have plenty of it, so that's 36. I automatically recover 2 fortitude, but I can spend 1 resource to recover an additional 2. So I will do that. So I'll go down to 34 as I'm like paying for like medical help. So I will go back up to 7. So I'm at full health. Stamina resets to 5. Okay, so I'm also going to definitely spend some skill points. 7, I got to. So I'm going to increase my fortitude by 1. I can gain 1 fortitude. That's a 1 skill point. So fortitude is now, the max is 8. And so now my current is 8. So that's a 1. So I go down to 6. Okay, so did a few things, spent some skill points. I am now down to just 1 skill point. I made made myself an expert in persuasion and sneak. I increased my fortitude up to 9. And so I think that's where all of the skill points went. And now I am marked by the endless corruption. So those are the new stuff that I got. I got 4 clues, 2 unverified that I will try to do in Amandet. So I'm going to make my way out of Upper Neraine. And when you leave one settlement and travel to another, you have to spend 2 resources. So now my resources are down to 31. And then you roll on the following table to determine what events you experience on the road. So I'm going to roll a d20 and let's see what we experience on the road. I don't have a d20. I'm just going to roll 2d10 and then add that together. Okay, that's a 9. So you are accosted by an agent of a corrupting power that has marked you. If you have not been marked, choose a power. The agent offers to strengthen your connection to the power, adding 3 corruption. If you refuse, the corrupting power adds a complication to your next roll. Adding 3. I could get, the Hungering Flame or the Endless, which is a tempting deal. Okay, so I am accosted by an agent of a corrupting power I've been marked by, which is interesting. So I will deal with all that in the next session, and that is where we're going to end this play session.